So this presentation is going to focus on plant hormones and phototropism. In general, a hormone is an organic compound that's needed for sending signals between cells in one part of a plant to another. So cells can communicate with one another, and it's through the use of hormones. If I asked you to think of a hormone that humans produce, you might think of the hormone adrenaline. And we say, well, when is adrenaline produced or released into the bloodstream? We'll say, well, it's usually in response to something that happens in the environment. When you are frightened, all of a sudden a signal goes into your brain that adrenaline needs to be released. The hormone adrenaline is released into your bloodstream. It then flows to your heart, and then it elicits a response. It speeds up the heart rate. So hormones basically are produced in response to changes in the environment, and then they cause a change in that organism. So plants also have hormones. So if the environment changes, then a plant can produce a hormone that can then cause a change in the plant. So we're going to look at different kinds of hormones that plants make, when they produce them, and what kind of an effect they have on the plant. So let me just kind of quickly go through two very common examples of plant hormones. Auxin is one example of a plant hormone, and this hormone plays a role in tropisms, which we're going to talk about. Ethylene is another example of a hormone that plants can produce. And this hormone causes a change in the plant where it causes fruit to ripen and can cause leaves to fall off during the summer or during the fall. Now, in addition to auxin and ethylene, there are many other plant hormones that have since been identified. Now, plant hormones can move throughout the plant, just like adrenaline can move throughout the human body. Now, many hormones can control plant growth and development by affecting cell division. So sometimes they speed up cell division, sometimes they slow down the cell division. Sometimes they will make the plant elongate. Sometimes they can trigger enzyme activity. Other times they can affect gene expression, so that means certain sections of DNA being turned on or off. And also are a component of properties of the membrane, so either they can change the properties of the membranes or adjust them. So let's take a look at the hormone auxin. The hormone auxin is involved in something called phototropism. Okay, how a plant grows in response to light. So it says when light is placed on one side of a plant, you might have seen that it actually bends towards the light as it grows. So if you look at the picture here, they're showing us light on the left-hand side of the plant. But what that means is in order for the plant to bend towards the left, or to bend towards the light, what that means is on the shaded side, we actually see growth. So the side of the plant that doesn't receive the sunlight, those cells are actually growing more. And when you see these cells grow more, they kind of elongate, and that's why the plant actually bends towards the light. Auxin is responsible for this phenomenon. So to answer the question, why is the plant bending? The reason is because the cells on one side of the plant are longer than on the other. The side of the plant that is shaded or doesn't receive the sunlight, that's where you see more growth. These cells are longer, and they grew longer because of the hormone auxin. So when the light shines on the left-hand side, and I'll do that in orange over here, the auxin travels to the shaded side, and the auxin is in these cells on the shaded side. And when the auxin is on the shaded side, it causes those cells to grow more. And that's why we see that side be longer, and you see the actual plant bend towards the light. Now, the reason this is called a phototropism is because the plant is growing or moving in response or towards the light. So this is why when the plant bends towards the light, we call that phototropism. So if auxin is a hormone that's responsible for stimulating growth, okay, and can be contributing for phototropism as well as gravitropism, that is where the roots gravitate towards gravity. So the roots travel towards gravity or grow towards gravity. This is why you don't see roots growing upwards, but they grow towards gravity. The second hormone we want to take a look at is ethylene. So ethylene is responsible for fruit ripening and the leaves falling off. So you've probably seen green bananas before, and you've probably seen super yellow ripe bananas with those brown dots on it. And the reason that plants or fruit ripens is because of the hormone ethylene. When the plant receives a lot of the hormone ethylene, this is what causes and triggers the ripening response. And this is true in many fruits. It's not just bananas. You'll see it in tomatoes when it goes from that green tomato into the very vibrant red tomato. The process of going from the green to the red is caused by the hormone ethylene. So to just summarize, hormones are basically compounds that can cause a change in the plant, and it's often done in response to environmental changes. So like as the environment changes, then these hormones are produced, and then they cause a change in the plant as well in response to the environment changing.